It's all over. It's finished, are the cries from Kris Boyd. What about, though? Brendan frickin' Rodgers. He was speaking on the Go Ballistic programme over on the Scottish Sun with Kris Boyd. Now, obviously, last night, the Nottingham Forest manager got sacked. His name is absolutely eluding me, but I thought maybe Brendan could be going there, but no, it turns out a former Celtic manager's already away. That deal has been wrapped up. Ange Postecoglou is the new Nottingham Forest manager. I actually believe the former guy... Nuno, that's his name, Nuno. I think Nuno got shafted, to be honest. Really good finish last year. Yeah, they missed out in Champions League football, but I think you need to be realistic, man. Like, we're Nottingham Forest. See, missing out in Champions League football, that's not a disaster for Nottingham Forest. When was the last time Nottingham Forest played Champions League football? Would have been the 80s. So I don't understand why the guy gets sacked, but ever since like the owner publicly berated Nuno on the pitch, I thought that his days were numbered. So Ange is in there. That door has closed for Brendan Rodgers. But after the last few weeks, Kris Boyd is convinced that Brendan Rodgers will not be there next season. Now let's get into it. So, and I quote, "I think Rodgers will be in charge for the weekend and his press conference this week will be interesting, but there is no doubt that it's finished. It's over. Brendan Rodgers and Celtic. A couple of weeks ago you felt there was maybe a contract on the table. That won't be there now. There is clearly a disagreement between Rodgers and the hierarchy, whoever that may be. I can't see him being there beyond the summer. Whether he gets to the summer, that's a different question. I am not sure he will. I don't think he will walk away because what he said previously, it might be a case that it comes to a mutual agreement, but we all know what that means. Both are sitting there right now and it's a case of who's going to blink first. It can't continue. There's no way it can." End of quote. I kind of agree. Like, before the window closes, if Celtic backed Rodgers and spent a bit more money, then here, maybe Brendan Rodgers would have signed a new 2-year deal or something, right? Hell, maybe he would have signed a 5-year deal, right? Try and go for the first ever 10 in a row. I don't know. It's Brendan Rodgers. What was thinking on Brendan Rodgers' mind, but considering the fact that the past couple of weeks he's been going against the board. Well, I say not that he's been going against the board in a bad way, but he's essentially been calling them out, and then they've went behind his back and leaked news to the Sun, whoever it may be, and basically turned around and said that Brendan Rodgers has ruffled the wrong feathers and that he should keep his mouth shut, as we talked about a couple of days ago. And that's just the board pretty much wanting a yes man. Nothing more, nothing less at the end of the day. Will they get a yes man? We'll have to wait and see. But Brendan Rodgers, the way he came out and he talked about Iheanacho would suggest that he's happy with the signing. But it's a weird one. At the same time, right, you'd have to be very naive to think Brendan Rodgers is going to come out and blast Iheanacho like, oh, this isn't the guy I wanted. Oh, he's fat and out of shape. I wanted Dolberg, right? But at the same time, Iheanacho is a Brendan Rodgers signing. I am 100%, not even 99, 100% convinced if Brendan Rodgers ain't the manager of Celtic, there is no way Iheanacho is playing for Celtic Football Club right now. It's the fact they used to not play together, but Iheanacho played under Rodgers. So for me, that deal is a Rodgers signing. I wouldn't be surprised if Rodgers is actually relatively happy with signing Iheanacho, but he won't be happy with what the rest of the window, man. Definitely not. But yeah, the contract for me, it's out the window. Now, what else has he got to say, Kris Boyd? Let's see. Rodgers has spent a hell of a lot of money, and for the board to get all the blame is wrong for me. There was a big outlay on players last summer who don't regularly start games. Can Celtic trust him to strengthen their squad for another manager to come in? I don't think they can. Celtic won't change their transfer policy because it's been successful. Why would you rip that up for a manager who's in the final months of his contract? End of quote. Well, yo, Jambo Bears alluded to that, right? Maybe Brendan Rodgers, right, told the board, here, I'm only doing my 3 years, so at the end of this season, I'm away. And maybe the board have went, right, there's not really much point backing him then, because we'll save that money for next season when a new manager's in. Would that be an acceptable reason about why they've not spent near enough money than what people think they should be? I think you would have to understand that. You would. It's like, well, why would you give Brendan Rodgers like 40 million to spend if he's not going to be here next season? Because the new manager, whoever it may be, might not like those players. So yeah, do I believe it's finished? Yeah, Brendan Rodgers will be away. Could he go earlier than that? It depends, man. I think we're in for a few few wee blockbuster months, especially if Celtic start losing games or go at the cup or something. It's going to go into crisis mode, I believe. That's what Boyd had to say regarding the fans. This isn't going away. The Celtic fans have had enough. Rodgers has come full circle in their eyes. Some of them didn't want him back, and now they are saying you couldn't grudge him walking away like he did the first time. It is a full-blown crisis. People are stripping back everything. If Celtic had signed Dolberg on deadline day, we probably wouldn't be talking about this. It would have papered over the cracks, but they didn't. Then they were scrambling about, and there is in-house fighting. End of quote. Yeah, I believe, right, Dolberg would have been a good sign. Danish international, big fee, coming from a big club. He's done it across Europe. No one could really complain about Dolberg. I still believe there would have been unrest, right? But the fact of the matter is this. Say you bring in Dolberg, right? Iheanacho doesn't come in. And even though Dolberg's much better than Iheanacho, it's just one guy. As good as I think Dolberg is, it's just one guy. People still wouldn't have been overly pleased with the amount of signings made in the last couple of weeks. But we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But like I said, one result away and it's probably going to go nuclear. Celtic are pretty lucky that their next home game ain't until, back end of September. If it was this weekend and they drop points, it's not even a case of really dropping points. You could just, the atmosphere, the board, protests, it would be mental. But we'll have to wait and see how it'll play out. A big weekend of action ahead. Hearts Rangers, I'm looking forward to it. Hearts have put their record signing, and I believe Stuart Finley's also missing the game. Or no, is it Frankie Kent? One of the two. So yeah, Hearts have got their injury problems. Everybody's got a problem, man. But one thing's for sure, the international break is pretty much wrapped up. For Scotland, it's wrapped up. We've got a few more games tonight. But yeah, roll on the weekend, folks. Till next time. Peace.